Hi, it's Jen.
And Mummy.
And we're going to measure the cage and say what's good and what's bad in the cage and the cage size.
If you could, would you have a different cage to this one?
Yeah.
Would it be bigger, smaller, or what?
Bigger.
Bigger. Right, so let's have a look. Cage should be 100 in length, shouldn't it?
Mm.
And we have 92-ish. So we're about 8 centimetres short for the right length for 2 Degus. And we have 46 there.
Yeah,
so about
46.
4 centimetres short on the depth. And our height should be 70 to 90.
No, 70 to 100.
Oh, 70 to 100. Well done. And we have 59, so again, that's a bit short. But we do have, what do we have coming?
Another cage.
Another cage. And what are we going to do with the other cage?
We're going to put that cage on top of this cage to make it higher.
Yes. But we can't do that at the moment, can we?
No.
No. So for now, they're having to make do with this cage. How long? They've been in this cage for the past 2 years. We've rescued them, haven't we?
Yes.
Wow. They were in a very good home. So they weren't rescued in the sense that they were hurt or anything. They came from a good home. But we have taken them on because they couldn't live there any lot more. So these are the little chaps. This one's...
The brown one is Nibbles.
The brains.
Nibbles.
The brains.
And the grey one
Pinky.
is Tom.
Pinky.
No.
Pinky and the brain. Inside the cage, if they had the right amount of space. Nibbles.
Stop nibbling at all.
If they had the right amount of space, it would probably be likely they could get away with one wheel between the pair of them.
But we have two to stop the arguing.
Yes, we do. That was me, not the... But because their cage is a little bit too small for them, what are we doing to make up for it?
Putting in 2 wheels.
No, other than putting in 2 wheels. Where are we at the moment? Is this where the cage lives?
No.
No. Overnight, the cage lives in the front room.
What are you doing, Nibbles?
Hey, monkey. What are you doing? You're on TV. Come on. So this one's Nibbles, as you can see. He is very friendly, as is our little tomboy. Yes. Anyway, why is it in the kitchen?
Because it's the only place that there is really that they can come out and run around in the morning and in the evening.
So we've only had them 2 days. 2 days? 3 days? We've had them since Tuesday and today's Friday. So we are very new Degu owners. Don't eat my skirting boards. Come on. And these past couple of days, they've been out actually quite a bit, haven't they?
Yes.
So they're still quite a novelty, so they're out quite a bit. Which means my side is always piled with the stuff that really belong on the unit, which we've had to remove.
Because otherwise they might nibble it.
Yes. Inside, back to the cage, because they've got quite a small space, they can't actually have too much in it. So would you like to talk through what they've got and why?
We have a log for them to nibble on, and we've stuffed it with hay and some seeds for them to rummage, for them to be able to nibble the hay and get to the seeds. And we have a seesaw.
Why do we have a seesaw?
For them to play with and for them to chew.
And basically because Tom, our Tom, not the Degu Tom, Jessica's brother Tom, who owns Tom, the Degu, wanted it, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's basically the only reason it's there.
Yeah, it is pretty much. But they do like to chew on it, and Tom does actually like to walk up and down it, doesn't he?
Yeah, every now and then.
So Degu, Tom, we're talking. It gets confusing, but the Degus were named when we got them, and we've decided not to change the names. Although even if Mummy and Daddy think they should be called Pinky and the Brain, because they're so they just remind us of Pinky and the Brain.
Nibbles. Stop nibbling the door.
Nibbles being the genius and Tom being insane. Right, what else have you got in there?
We have a hammock and a bed, which they can both sleep. They can sleep in one of them.
But where do they normally sleep? Rather than in either of those, where do they normally sleep?
They like to sleep in the wheel.
They do. They like to sleep in the wheel.
They jump in, and when it rocks, they sort of slowly drift off to sleep.
So they sort of gently rock it from side to side, and then they sort of drift themselves off to sleep. What else have we got in there?
The wheels.
The wheels. What about what you were making? There will be a post about the bits that Jessica started making for them. There's one of them. Do you want to put it out and show the camera?
This one is like this one, except we've used a kitchen roll to be able to make it. And this one, we've used a toilet roll and cut it and folded the edges, and it's also stuffed with hay and some sesame seeds.
Right, what seeds can, at the moment, we're still quite new and we're still learning, aren't we? But what seeds have we worked out they can have?
These are all the seeds that they can have. There's sesame seeds, which are the small white ones. There's
Black sunflower seeds, which are the smaller ones, and then there are also pumpkin seeds in there. Now, we do know that pumpkin seeds, they should be having about 3 a day, no more. We're not entirely sure about that, so we're giving them very sparingly. We know that they can have the sunflower seeds a little bit more, but we hope to get them on an SAB diet, which is a species-specific diet. So it's a diet that's specially made for Degus. But we're still trying to work out quantities and what it is we'll have to buy and what it is we'll have to sort of forage for. Jessica's very lucky because she's got a lovely tutor who has a big field, and he has offered to make her some hay. Once we've got our list sorted. So this year, for this season, we'll probably have to wing it a bit, and we're relying on nuts, the Degu mix nuggets, which aren't. Oh, there you go. There's some in the cage. Hay, and then freshly picked dandelion that's washed and dried. That's not dandelion.
No.
Where's that come from?
Maybe the money tree.
Oh yeah. Yeah, better check that. With the added money tree leaf. Yeah, so we're sort of learning as we go. So for now, the boys...
And we've also made some dried food.
Oh,
There's carrots and chopped parsnip in here. There's dished parsnip and...
Why didn't you open it up?
square.
So we've also made these. These are treats, and they actually really like the parsnip.
They prefer the parsnip to the carrot.
It's definitely a favourite. We also did celery and peppers, didn't we?
I don't think they don't like the celery. We put celery in there, and they had a sniff and went, no.
And actually, they ran away from our hands, didn't they? Because our hands smelt of celery. So they don't like celery. Can't blame them. And the pepper didn't turn out quite right. So we're going to have another go at that, I think. We'll find a different way of drying it. Those were just put onto a baking sheet. and put into a very low oven and just left until they looked like they were sort of dry. They're quite rubbery in texture, but the Degus don't seem to mind, and they actually seem to enjoy it. And we just sort of did what we do for when we eat them, but without the oil, because we weren't sure whether they could have the oil.
And we also have the bridge to let them come up into the hammock, which Nibbles likes to chew. Yeah,
that's right. We have branches coming next week from Thomas and Jessica's tutor. He's going to cut them some hawthorn, was it? Branches and some fruit tree plant branches. So, and we are trying to find some local branches as well, aren't we?
Yes.
And that's their cage, really, isn't it? What bedding are you using?
The floor. That's I've got the name.
Hemp
Bedding.
So it's actually, I have to admit, it is actually really quite good.
And we got it from Amazon.
Yeah, and it's dust free, and we have 2 of us in this house who are actually asthmatic, and I suffer from all sorts of allergies. So it has made a big difference. When we got them, they came with chip-ins that looked quite similar, but were quite dusty.
It might be because the dust bath was always in there, though.
The dust bath was always in there, and we've taken that out. From what we've read, they shouldn't have access to the dust bath constantly. So they would normally have...
Stop!
They would normally have that out while they're running loose.
But that's only normally if you handle them.
Yeah, well, they're not meant to be out now. This is sort of like an added extra one just for this... For Jessica to be able to
do everything that's in them.
Yeah.
Because keeping them in is actually really hard. Because if you get one in, the other one comes out.
So...
Like in one of the videos that I did, whilst I was cleaning out the cage and I tried to put them back, Nibbles got in, I put Tom in, Nibbles ran out. It was crazy.
So they don't normally try to chew the sides this much. We stopped them because this is real wood, and not only does it not look, it looks a bit unsavoury to have Degu teeth in them, but more worryingly is that because it's varnished and it's sort of treated, we don't want them getting poorly, nibbling on the doors and that, and the varnish that's used on it. So
but
they don't normally nibble this much, but they do normally have bits all over the floor for them to get into mischief with. So
that's most probably why, because there's nothing on the floor for them to be able to play with.
So we're going to try and get these guys in now, which will be fun. Shall we say bye?
Bye.
And we'll see you next time.